Biden's capital gain tax hikes. Oh, no, we can't have capital gain tax hikes for people making over $1 million because that will stop the market. That will hurt the economy. What exactly will it do? This was such a freaking giveaway. Republicans, look, man, if you're going to be a populist party, this is such an easy win. Easy. Let me share with you something here real quick, which I get a lot, and I get these emails all the time. It's hold on just a sec. Politics, my friends, is a contact sport. And if you can't learn to play and make contact, i.e., tackle people, you're going to lose, as Republicans always do, because we're freaking idiots. We say, under no circumstances shall we have tax hikes. And I used to think that myself. I remember Ben Stein, about 15 years ago, arguing that we do need to raise taxes on higher income earners because we have all these unfunded liabilities. Now, whether or not that would actually go to prop up the unfunded liabilities is a different story. But the facts were he was making a good populist case that, look, man, this can't keep going. And the Republicans are throwing in for the hedge fund managers is not good politics, and it's certainly not good in terms of just basic economics. So here's my man, who's this guy? Greg. Now, I'm not going to say his whole name, but just a comment about your recent Obamacare video. I'm 58. My wife is 59. He was a pharmacist. I worked as a manager in a pharmacy with all the accompanying stress. A year ago, I found myself with no dependent kids. They're empty nesters now, and no mortgage. Not ready to retire, but ready to quit my crappy manager job. I decided I wasn't going to let health insurance keep me handcuffed anymore. I stepped down from a full-time position last year to a part-time floating position without benefits. Still at that same firm. Obamacare was the way out. If I kept my Maggie, modified adjusted gross income, below $68,000, I discovered I would receive enough subsidies to keep my premium near what I was paying at Publix. My plan was to max out the 401k, HSAs, and IRAs, and my wife would closely monitor our income throughout the year. I cannot tell you the relief I feel. I'm still working in my career and for a few more years, but my schedule is much more flexible. Fewer hours, I no longer have the stress of being a manager. I think this is completely I think it's completely ridiculous. We are depending on our jobs for health insurance. And I stray from my conservative roots of my belief in a national health care system, even possibly a voucher system, as I mentioned. I don't like a national health care system. I like a 100% voucher system. But we're getting the worst of both worlds now, and the Republicans are not engaged in the politics of this at all because they're freaking idiots, man. And unfortunately, the days of the Laffer curve, I hate, and this is going to sound even worse, but Rush Limbaugh did play a role in this. I love Rush Limbaugh, without question. At the end of the day, though, any Republican who advocated for tax hikes would get the ire of the previous generation of conservatives, because the generation that the Rush Limbaughs grew up on was reducing taxes, a la John F. Kennedy, by the way, which made sense. When the income tax was 70%, the capital gains tax was as ordinary income, qualified dividends did not exist, all that stuff. Those days are long gone. Now we have a completely whatever it is, a dichotomy, I guess. I'm not sure what you call it. We have these guys making tons of money, and they're not doing anything. They're just hedge fund managers, investment managers. Those guys aren't producing anything. They're just turning paper over here and over there. That's it. They're freaking buying these VC companies. They're going to these companies, buying them up, laying them off, like Mitt Romney at Bain. Going to some manufacturing plant in freaking Akron, Ohio. Is that where LeBron James is from? I think so. So after LeBron James that guy's such a clown. Anyway, so they're going to some manufacturing plant in Akron, Ohio. They're going there, cleaning it up. And then they're turning around and selling it to the highest bidder, who's usually probably an overseas company, conglomerate from overseas, and they lay off everybody. We all know how this works. And then Mitt Romney gets it to go do it again. Why should those people have capital gains as taxes is preferable when they're just going in there and chopping up, putting these companies on the chopping block? It doesn't make sense. By all means, you can still make money. You still get 60% of your gain, but you're going to lose 39.6. I got no qualm with this at all. None. And then so he wants a national health system because he's like, why? Because he's understandably right. He's saying, why should health insurance be tied to your job? 100%. Well, the reason it was tied for your job was because of FDR to begin with. Oh, and there's one of the perks that you could offer in businesses or unions, and that's where we are now. A national voucher system is the way to go. Here's $10,000 here, go crazy, man. Anyway, so you raise the taxes on capital gains for millionaires, and you use that explicitly to fund Social Security or to provide vouchers for Medicare. It's such a winning scenario. And look, this letter or email from Greg, I get letters like that or emails all the flipping time. And they're not seminar callers like Rush would say, hey, I voted for Reagan, but that Mitt Romney, he's too right-wing for me. Yeah. I voted for Reagan, but that John McCain, he's too right-wing for me, so I'm throwing in with Obama. And no one ever said that. That never happened. That's called a seminar call, or just full of crap. But this kind of stuff is not. And I completely agree. I 100%. Shoot, you want to say I'm not conservative? That's fine. Populist, 100%. You say to the people making $1 million, $1 million of income, yeah, you're going to pay more in capital gains. Yeah, you're going to lose your qualified dividend preference region. Why is that such a? I don't understand why Republicans, but they blew it. It's so frustrating because from a pure political perspective, this is a win because there's how many people are making $1 million? Not that many. So there's not that many, and the vast majority of them are far lefties anyway. So why die on that hill? Why not turn it around? Like Trump did with assault. Say, look, you live in one of these high blue states, we're not gonna allow you to deduct your state and local taxes up to $10,000. That's perfect. But why do this? So frustrating. Anyway, so I got no qualm with the capital gains tax rate hike on the people making 39.6. Now, what Biden's going to do? Biden, he's going to use some of that for child care, see that whole freaking thing of pre-K, whatever they call it. We all know that's what was that called? Head Start. That's a failure, but it sells well to the Democratic Union base. So in terms of teachers unions, so that's their payoff for supporting Biden. Republicans had it right there. So we're going to take increased tax on capital gains for millionaires, and we're going to use that money to shore up Social Security, maybe expand it, and maybe shore up Medicare, maybe expand it. It's such an easy political win. And of course, the Republicans are idiotic. And now we're going to freaking fight tooth and nail to stop the tax hikes coming because no way are we having tax hikes. And of course, we look like we're defending the rich who hate us anyway. And yet at the same time, we got freaking middle class Joe and his ilk are having to stay at their crappy old jobs for health care. What a great political strategy for Republicans. Kiss my freaking butt, dudes. Stupid. So I got no qualm with it at all. None. I just wish the Republicans had the thought process to go along with it. All right, we'll see, or to advance it without Biden. See ya. Love to hear your comments.